You come from Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
You are here at the Climate Camp in Rhineland.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah, I'm here because I saw like here there is many activists and many movements. They are calling for climate justice, and I thought it's important also to reflect the impacts on the communities from South Global, because we are the one who are most suffering from the impacts from the climate change, and we need to talk to raise our voice, and yeah, we have to do something against this, even though like many people here are talking about our communities, but most of them they don't know what's exactly happened. And once they call for climate justice, they look at it as something that can affect the developed countries maybe in the future most, and so on. But at the same time there is nations, a lot of nations who are like at the moment suffering, and they are where they were suffering from years from the climate change.
Can you give more description? What is it, this summer, for example, was a very hot summer.
Yeah.
What happened to the people in your country?
Like in Sudan, especially, like people die from the heat every year, and now this is and this in Sudan it's the rain seasons. Also, there is many accidents there, and there is many people who died from the floods and from the storm, like windstorm and stuff. And like for example, just yesterday, like there was 22 children. They died while they were going to the school due to heavy rain, and there was like also storm. So
You heard this today, yesterday?
yeah, I heard it yesterday. It was very sad. And
How do you personally deal with all this stuff?
it's very hard to just deal with it. I mean, I'm trying just to reflect the situations in Sudan and tell people what's happening there, and try to stimulate people to do more actions, because we are tired of like seeing other worrying about this, and we need sympathy, we don't need tears and stuff, we need like actions, because always actions say a lot and they speak loudly than voices.
How many degrees did you have in Sudan this year?
Uh, it's until 49, and some areas it's 50s.
What are people doing then when it's so hot?
Like for example, in East Sudan, they used to put people in refri.
In Kühlschrank,
Yeah, in
which is
Kühlschrank.
a
Like
box.
a very big Kühlschranks, like rooms. So people they just go there, and
For some
people,
time to cool down.
Yeah. Well, we can just say of course, we have like very bad governments, but this is not the only reasons, because there is many uh, international interventions to these countries, because like everyone knows that Africa have been occupied many times by many countries, and they use their resources and they steal their resources, and they did all these things. And even like when you look at the West world, like when they do, like they invest in Africa, but not to serve the people there. They serve themselves. They serve their people here. Even they passing their product to Africa. So, and they are controlling the market. So even the people, if they are producing something, they can't sell it on the market, because it's known that like their products are much better than our local products. This is how they control the market. And even was like many sanitation to Sudan, and many other countries they are suffering from this.
What about the trash?
Yeah, this is another story. Like there is many countries they bring their electronic trash to Sudan, and some they also bring their nuclear trash to Sudan, and the government, most of them, they don't have ethics, and they're also, this is as I said, another form of capitalism. They just want money, so they don't care what happened to people. So now in Sudan, especially in North Sudan, like many people are suffering from cancer, and we don't have even like a good treatment. We have, like in Sudan, we have just one hospital that treats cancer, and even this hospital, like there is a huge contamination, radiation contamination, not just in the hospital but also around the hospital. So even the people who are working there, they are in danger to get cancer or old and
From the trash,
from the
nuclear trash, which is coming there from which
yeah,
countries? Do you know some special
I can't
European
name,
countries?
Yeah, there is European countries, but I can't name one exactly because I'm not sure.
What would you like to say to people who are here in Germany? If you could hold a speech to the big public, what would you say?
I would say if anyone wants to know anything in this life, they would know, definitely. It's not difficult. Even they can just talk to the people who are suffering. They can understand from the people to get more contact, to see like what are those people suffering from, what brought them here, why are they there, because most of people, they are not happy that they are here, but they are trying to help their families back home. They are looking for like a bright future. They want to change something. So when they come here, they try, but and in the same side, like there's many people just thinks that people come here to live like a luxury life, to take their money. So recently people were talking about the money that went out of Germany, which was like, I don't know, 17 million euros or something, and most of the people were pissed off because of this, and they were like, well, they come, they take our money and they send it back, and so now maybe we should reduce this money. But they don't know what people suffering from. Climate doesn't have borders, so the emissions here or in America or Russia or Chinese or something can affect the whole world, and the most people who's going to be affected by this are the people from the developing countries, because of this is due to two reasons. Firstly, that the people in like most of the poor communities, they are depending on their lifestyle. On most of them are farmers and herders or pastors, and they depend on their daily livelihood on agriculture and pasture and so on. So any change in the pattern of the rain or temperature or something, this is have a direct impact on their lives. Secondly, the lack of financial and technologies that they can use to adapt any change in the temperature, for example, or to adapt all the projected adaptation plans. Well, yeah, for example, like resettlement people, would be very expensive, and also like the infrastructure would be like destroyed, and like for example in Sudan the infrastructures are already very bad, so any deterioration in the temperature would be very hard to handle. Also the carbon bank, which is a word recently we're talking more about it, by growing or protecting forests in Africa so they can they can give more CO2 to the air. And this is, I think, this is this very stupid way to run from their responsibility of mitigation their emission or to stop their emissions. Yeah, they just want to say, okay, we are not hurting the ecosystem enough because this is our emissions X%, and we have this forest in Africa is gonna absorb X%, so they can reduce, and it's not going to change anything in the system. This is not going to help anyways, but they want to give more carbon dioxide. They want to continue what they are doing, and they don't want to take responsibility. So when we talk about reducing the emissions, we need to really reduce. We need them to stop what they're doing, not to find another tricks. As equation, it's not going to change anything. And many people already are suffering from malnutrition, and this is gonna also be very high.
From what?
Malnutrition, the lack of food. This is a disease comes to people once they don't eat enough, which has another effects on the development and the growth for the countries. And for example, in Sudan now, more than 30% of the children, they are suffering from malnutrition. People from Sudan are really suffering from this. Like recently, the change of the pattern of the rain, it's really affecting people, and we are really suffering for this. We have many conflicts there. Millions of people dies every year. Millions of children are dying every year also from hunger. So this is not right. We need to focus on something. We need some actions. We need to do something. Everyone knows about the conflicts in Darfur, and they just reflect it as Islamo-Arabian conflicts and stuff. But the main reason for these conflicts is climate change.
Why?
Because for example, in North Darfur, in Jabal Mara mountains, there is medium intensity armed conflict. It's between the farmers and the herders or the pastors. So the people from the Darfurian tribe, they are seek to protect their lands, their historical rights in their lands, and they want to keep their lands. And so when the pastor from the Arabian tribe comes and enter their lands, and they are also seeking a green places for their animals. They want to feed them because the droughts and the decreased rate of rainfall, it's affected their lives and their animals. So they have to move, coming to these lands so they can get something. So this is how the conflict started, and its effects went also to south. Now the whole region are suffering from war, and everybody is everyone raised arm to protect their lands, to protect their culture, to protect their race. And also the wars in South Sudan, it was also conflict over resources. Sudan has lost around 18 million hectares from agricultural land. So this is
by
the droughts and desertification and so on, all the climate change factors. So this is forced millions of people to leave their areas and to go to the central side or to the center of the country where the food security is relatively better. And this also poses like a very high challenge to these regions. And Sudan lost also like almost all its forest in North Sudan, which was 6 times the France, like the area of France, which is something very big. So all those people now, they are suffering from desertification. So most of them, most of the rural population, they left their village, they left their land because they can't grow anything there anymore. Many people, they change their livelihood because of this. And most of them, of course, nowadays, they are just leaving the country. And yeah, this was like a very great challenge. And even though Sudan is trying, like they put its national adaptation plan, but it's also struggling because of the lack of the finance and the technology, as I said. So even with the current temperature, people are suffering. They cannot adapt to this change. So what if we make it worse? So millions of people will die, of course. And this is what happens. And I don't think it's gonna stop. But we need something to stop this. We need something. So, and I hope that, the people who are leaving their countries and cross the sea, trying to find like better opportunities, find better chances, just let them have a chance. Because Europe and all the countries, they always take the educated people. They take them. They don't ask them for anything because they know how much they're gonna serve these countries and how much they're gonna get out of them. But what about the others? Because millions of people didn't get a chance for rights to education, for education or a good life in their countries. So these kind of people, they come here like they still want to do something. Because if someone just decided to come in a plastic boat here, so it means he has nothing left.
This is the last opportunity.
This is the last opportunity. Either if I'm going to die, they know that. When someone takes a such decision, it means there is no meaning of their lives anymore.
They
so
know
either to
risk.
take, back home, they know that we don't have any other chance to survive here. So if I'm going to die anyways, why don't I die while I'm trying? Because even if they continue this way, like putting money aside, for how long? Who's gonna use this in the future? No one. It will be just papers on boxes, which is not going to serve anyone. So we need to fight for our survival as human beings. We need to protect ourselves. And in order to do this, we need to fight the capitalism in its all forms and its all ideology. And we need to also everyone should be involved in this project, because people nowadays, most of them, they look for their comfort zone. So they want to get nice cars, want to travel in 2 minutes, and these big houses, and everything they want it to be very fast. They need a high technologies, but to do what? It's gonna end us to the end. It's going to lead us to the end. It's not going to help us in any ways. So we need to stand for this. Everybody should understand, like, you can do something that you see it as like something comfortable or good, but it's gonna affect you, the first one, later on. So we need to open our minds more and think of tomorrow, because it's not just about the moment. For Germany, I think they have enough cheap workers in that world, so they don't want more. So, and on the same side, they are talking about human rights, and the union, the European Union got the Nobel Prize for what? And the sad thing, they see people there, they see them are drowning, but they don't move a hand, they just look. This is ridiculous. This should be changed. So they need to act like human. They need to be human. When I say human, I mean human. So, yeah. So,
Thank you, Nessrin, for this interview. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to reflect some of the facts, and I hope for a change.
Thank you.